Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. In this video, I give my reading wrap-up for the week and a half of 11/30/2025 to 12/9/2025. Decided to do it a week and a half because this is Wednesday, the December 10th, as I record this. So instead of just backing off to a week, doing a week and a half, and then I'll do another in another week and a half, and then hopefully I'll get back on a weekly schedule. I completed 2 books this week, so I'm going to talk about those 2 books. I started and read part of another book, so I'll talk briefly about that book. I talk about my reading plans for the remainder of the month. I talk about the videos I released. I talk about a wooble I'm working on. I talk about the music I've been listening to, and I'll talk about some other things going on in my life too. The book I completed was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a book I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I finally did, and I'm happy I did. I was in a bit of a reading slump, and this book brought me out of it. It's certainly not cozy, but it's also not to be taken super seriously. It kind of hit the sweet spot for me. Typically, when I get maybe 10:30 at night, I find it hard to concentrate my reading. I find myself reading stuff over. But 3 different times I read a fair amount past the time I normally go to bed because the book was just holding my interest and I wanted to keep going, find out what happened. It's great when a much lauded book lives up to the expectations or maybe even exceeds them. I will do a separate video for this at some point, but this book is certainly going to be a 5-star read for me. It's going to be amongst my favorite books for 2025 when I figure that out at the end of the year. The second book I completed was Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna van Veen. This book is set in the 1880s in the Netherlands. It's told in the third person by Lucy. Her twin sister is undergoing some serious health issues, so she asks Lucy to come see her and help her out. This part of the story is told through letters, most of them from Lucy's sister Sarah to Lucy. Early on, in one of the letters, we learn that a bog woman was discovered on the property of the estate where Sarah lives with her husband. Won't really say too much more about the story, but I will do a separate review at some point. The story was going to be about a 3.5, but the latter part of it was quite thrilling. That raised it up to a 4-star read for me. I read this book as part of the Literary Love Club, a YouTube book club moderated by Jen at Literary Love 123. It has an associated Discord. There was a really good live chat that Jen hosted. Jen's co-host was Hermie at the book Hermie. I will try to remember to put a link to the replay of the live chat so you can see it if you'd like to take a look at it. The book I started this week is The Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the second book in the Will of the Many series. I'm not sure it's called that, but the first book was The Will of the Many. I'm reading this book as part of a buddy read with Rose at Rose_Dreamer. Also, Ronica, I don't know what her YouTube handle is. We are doing this on the Witchwood Apothecary Discord, which is the Discord of Steph at Fall to Steph. I want to thank Rose for inviting me to do a buddy read. We also did a buddy read on The Will of the Many, along with Angela Ciani, which was a good buddy read. I just started that, read a little bit. I also read, Rose forwarded a interlude, which was a short story set after the events of the first book and before the events of the second, which kind of served as a recap, because The Will of the Many is a long book and it's quite complex. I only just started the second book, but there's already something quite interesting, different, the way this book looks like it's going to go. As far as my plans for the remainder of the month, my first priority is reading The Strength of the Few. It is over 700 pages, so it's quite a long book. I also want to read Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. This is a book that is the December read for Booked and Busy, a favorable book club moderated by Jaime at Jaime Fock on here. It is also the December read for the Witchwood Apothecary Book Club, which, as I said, is a book club moderated by Steph at Fall Into Steph. So this book is a book that is the book for two book clubs, and I also really loved First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, so a book I really want to read. Might also read Mate by Ali Hazelwood, which is not exactly a sequel, but I think set in the same universe as Bride. That is another book that I'm going to read, is a buddy read by Rose at Rose_Dreamer. Thanks again, Rose, for inviting me. There's other stuff I've talked in the previous videos I would like to do this month, but I'm not sure I'm going to get to them. The two books I mentioned are my top priority. I will get to the other books I talk about at some point, but these two are my top priority. I released 4 videos in the period that this wrap-up covers. The first is the Big 6-0 book tag, celebrating 60 years of reading. The second is the Reading in the Dark book tag. The third is the reading wrap-up for the week ending 11/29/2025. And the fourth is analysis of my YouTube 2025 recap. The last one especially was kind of an interesting one. Got a lot of comments, which I always appreciate. This past Monday, December 8th, I attended a Barnes & Noble virtual event. It was Ava Reed in conversation with Rachel Gillig. It was to discuss Ava Reed's book, Archive of Romance, that came out the next day. I previously read her Juniper and Thorn. I really liked it. I've not read any books by Rachel Gillig, but I do have her One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns duology to read. The virtual event was over Zoom. It was quite interesting. They are friends. The ticket for the Zoom meeting also included an autographed copy of Archive of Romance, which is supposed to come in 8 to 10 days. I do quite enjoy author discussions of this type. At some point, it would be nice if I could actually go to a in-person author event. I've never done so. My BookTube 2-year anniversary is this month. As is customary, I'm going to record and release a video where I talk about the typical topics people talk about when they reach such anniversaries, but I also wanted to solicit questions. I know I recently did a video when I answered viewer questions and got a lot of questions, which I really appreciate. It went really well. But if there's any other questions you would like to ask, please reply in the comments. I am going to solicit a second time when I do my next wrap-up, and then a little after that I will record and release the video. Thanks in advance for any questions you submit. Next, I want to talk about the Wooble I'm working on. It is the BT21 Mang donut, and I almost shouldn't show it because I just haven't been crocheting. All I did was this little part here, and I keep talking about trying to find balance. I've been playing so much of the video game that I'll talk about it later that I haven't been crocheting. I am very much enjoying the video game, but I do want to balance it out a little bit better. As far as that video game I just alluded to, I still am playing Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I am close to 100 hours on it. I did complete the main storyline, and now what I'm doing is there are 15 lives, which are actually different jobs your character can do, and you can level them up to various levels. And I'm trying to level them up to the adept level. 4 or 5 of them I reached that point, and I want to level all of them up to that point. After that, I'm not sure if I'll continue, but at least that's what I'm at least going to do that. As far as the music I've listened to this past week and a half, it's mainly been Cat's Eye Sticks and a new artist called Kane Coulto. Rose at Rose_Dreamer introduced me to this artist, and on my early listens I really like him, and I kind of like what he stands for too. And I will say it's not surprising people could have a good idea what books I like, but it's especially gratifying for someone such as Rose to have a good idea of what artist I might like, and it appears in this case she's dead on. Right, so far I really like him. Other interesting thing too is I not like him, but I listened on Spotify, and after a while of playing an artist's songs, I'll play other similar songs, and the songs was playing after his songs were very cool. So a couple of those people I followed on Spotify, so that's what I've been listening to. And also a couple of artists that just came to mind as I'm filming this, I listened some to. In this case, because I had bought and downloaded their digital albums, were Tate McRae and Skull Crusher. Those were a couple more. Besides what I've already said, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. The video I mentioned about my YouTube 2025 recap showed that I listen to a lot of videos and showed that I watch a lot of videos and a somewhat wide range of them. Besides that, I just did my normal stuff. I went out to eat a few times. I walked at the local mall. I would be interested in knowing how your recent reading is going. Any books you particularly enjoy. Also be interested if you'd like to let me know what music you've been listening to. If you can't think of anything else you'd like to comment, please add a wolf emoji, because one of the two main characters in Bride is a werewolf, although they just use the term were in the book. Hope you're having a wonderful reading week. I hope you're having a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.